Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a magical day and today makes today even more magical because today we're checking out a new Babymetal song. I know I missed it for a while, but I was really working on something very important with my animations. It's probably up. It's a new animatic that I made for school and I hope you like it. It was pretty fun working with it, and I feel like it's one of the first times I sat down and paid a lot of attention into my animation principles, which was very important because I feel like the result is a lot more controlled, like I actually intended to make it, which is pretty fun to see. Okay, so we're doing the Metal Kingdom, which sounds super fun. Super excited to see it. Okay. Are you guys ready? Nice buildup. Okay, even before starting to actually perform with singing, I love how they play already with the levels of the song. There's that build up at the beginning, then we smooth it out, we give it a bit of an echo glitch that kind of pauses things a bit with the tempo, changes it up, we go climax again with that oh, and then we go back down and calm down again, which is so fun. It's so interesting, and we haven't actually started the singing yet. Okay. This is beautiful. To begin with, I love how we started with a clear voice at the beginning with Sue, and then we continued into more of a, let's say, melodical performance where she prolongs her notes, which was beautiful, especially because after when we have the beat drop and actually like perform like a chorus part, I'm guessing, has a lot more cleanliness in the voice again, but keeps a bit of that prolongingness as well at the end, by the end of it, which I think combines the two, and it's so interesting because it does it so well. It's like so smooth, like the change between them, you don't really realize it. It's so beautiful. Also, I love that guitar. and drums. They sound so good. Okay, I love it. It's so beautiful. This session had the similar beginning of more clear vocals, but also prolonging them as we go. But it was even like smoother and it took longer for that change to happen. So beautiful, so seamless. I also love Sue's occasional like prolongedness that ended in the high note and then like you had more popping in. It's so beautiful. It drags you along with it. Sometimes I would just completely get lost in that melody, in that song, and I'd be like, oh no, I miss parts of the vocals, but for some reason I just couldn't. I loved it so much that I would get absorbed by it, which is beautiful. But also kind of a shame because you lose part of the vocals. But that melody just is so it's therapeutic in a way, it's meditating in a way because it just travels and takes you with it. You cannot like avoid it. You pay attention to it for a bit and you're lost into it. It's so interesting. I love it. I love how it's like it starts off and then you have a whole session of that one pitch vocals and then it goes higher and then it goes it's so fun how they very slowly like climax this part, and it is so beautiful and so interesting how we're a lot more calm with our performances here. There's still like the full-on heavy metal vibe, but it's so much more calm. It's so interesting how I find it meditating. Okay, we've reached climax now, so I want to repeat this part. We've had a beautiful high note, held longer than the previous ones, which is beautiful. And we have a tempo being kept that kind of builds up more steadily this time. It's more noticeable. So that's pretty fun, because we started with a bit of a mixture of the two. Then we continue. We also started very, very quietly. We started with a mixture of the two. Then we prolonged it until this part, and now we're going a lot more clear, a lot more distinguished, separated. So it's so interesting, like the change that happens is so like, oof. Wow. This is so gorgeous. Ooh, and we have the sharp ending. That is so clean. It's such like a balance performance, but also it's so sharply like differentiated the parts. We've had that climax that's sort of very staccato here from further on, and continued to be a lot more fluent again and a lot more flowing and dragging on the notes. And again, like it finished very, very bluntly. So again, like this difference between the two is just so fun. I love how this song has that consistent pace, but it's not boring because not only do they have that climax difference, that imbalance between it's a very, very like close balance. It's not very extreme high notes and like lower notes. That's why it has that consistency in the like the melody and the volume and that pitch. But you do get to see that consistent like difference into how staccato and how like separated it is in the singing and the music, to how the voice changes afterwards, and it could be dragged on way longer. And it's so interesting to see, especially when it happens in the song many different times in many different ways. It's so fun having a section which drags on and then going full staccato and then finishing it with more drag performances and then hitting us with a sharp ending. Like that already was so fun. The beginning being a blend of the two, and it's so interesting. It's so fun just playing around with new things, and this is one of them, like one example of like you're playing with the vocals in such a way that you have many different versions. And even though, let's say, you repeat a chorus or something, it never sounds the same because that beginning was not interpreted in the same way. It was not dragged. It could have been staccato. It could have been dragged for way longer, or would have started very musically. It's so interesting how this song, for me, even though I recognize that there were parts of the song that were already like the same lyrics, they were sung in a different way. So you're like, oh, they started and they finished in a different way. They are part of a different new verse in a way. If you know what I mean, there's a different mentality of thinking, oh, it started this way, so it started differently, so it's kind of different. It's so interesting to like play around with that, because usually when you have repeating choruses, you're already predicting how it's gonna sound. This is way different, and I love that. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications that will be sent next time I watch a new video. And I'll see you guys next time in my next reaction. Bye bye!